9 times things went terribly wrong in WWE. Before we begin this video, I would like to ask you to like the video if you enjoy it and subscribe to support our channel. We truly appreciate it. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when we upload new videos to our channel. Thank you and enjoy the video. WWE is a professional and respected company and organization, and as such, thrives to plan everything to its little detail to meet the necessary safety standards, and at the same time entertain the crowd and its fans to the maximum. However, from time to time, human errors, mistakes, circumstances and possible faulty equipment cause things to get out of control, which in the worst case can even end in death. In this video, we share with you 9 times things went terribly wrong in WWE. Number 9. Brock Lesnar's shooting star press. When looking at a wrestler like Brock Lesnar, you don't expect some high-flying maneuvers, especially not something like a shooting star press. However, during his match against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 19, the blood rushed to his head and he thought it was time to give the fans a treat, Lesnar flying in the air. A day to be remembered for ages. Wanting to make an impression on the biggest event of wrestling, Lesnar attempted a shooting star press but landed squarely on his head. He was able to recover and perform the F5 on Angle to win the match, but I'm not so sure he even remembers it. Number 8. Too many chair shots to the head. 1999. The I Quit match at the Royal Rumble between The Rock and Mankind. During the match, The Rock handcuffed Foley and slammed his head with a chair all the way down the entrance aisle. Nothing that seemed unordinary in such a match. However, backstage footage that was revealed later showed Foley being calm yet frustrated as he tried to explain to The Rock that he was trying to stop the attack during the bout. Later on, Foley also mentioned in his book that he felt some bitterness towards Rock for what happened that night. Overall, Mick Foley received 11 unprotected chair shots to the head that night. Thank God he's still alive and remembers his own name. Number 7. The Cobra that took a chunk out of Macho Man. 1991. After Randy Savage had lost a career versus career match to the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania, he worked mainly as a commentator. Randy Savage and Elizabeth even got married at SummerSlam 91. And Jake the Snake Roberts had decided it was a great time to make his impact on the post-ceremony reception. Being crazy and fond of snakes, he had planted a snake into one of the gifts for the married couple. Roberts would bait Savage to get in the ring with him for a segment filmed for WWE Superstars that October. He then tied Savage up in the ropes and had his Cobra take a bite out of his arm. Things got escalated when Jake got the snake to bite Savage and couldn't get it off of him. Fans watched as the snake took a chunk out of Savage's arm, instead of just biting him a bit. Number 6. Mick Foley goes through the cell. Most if not all of you here know this story, but I thought it was still worth mentioning. The Undertaker vs. Mankind in Hell in a Cell, one of the most iconic and remembered matches in the history of WWE. While the two were battling on top of the cage, it was not supposed to give out at that point in the match. Prior to that, Foley had already jumped off the cell and through the announce table, so you would think that would be enough for one match. This also happened before WWE switched to a ring with more give to it, so the landing was that much harsher. A chair which had been on top of the cell fell with Foley as the cage gave way and he ended up landing squarely on his face. Medical personnel immediately charged into the ring to assist Foley, who again survived endless beatings and bashes. It seems Foley is the star on this list, shockingly still with us and without any brain damage. I hope. Number 5. The Undertaker's Orbital Bone. May 2010. A SmackDown episode. Rey Mysterio lands on the face of The Undertaker, causing his nose to begin swelling and bleeding. This incident even almost caused Taker to remain blind, and he needed corrective surgery to repair the damage that had been done. Mysterio's dive ended up giving Taker a broken nose, a broken orbital bone, and a concussion. Eventually, Undertaker won the match, but the injuries he had suffered put him out of business for months. Number 4. Stone Cold Steve Austin breaks his neck. Stone Cold Steve Austin faced Owen Hart for a match when a piledriver move by Hart resulted in Austin breaking his neck and ended up taking years off Austin's career. Owen Hart reversed a tilt-a-whirl slam from Austin and set him up for a sit-down piledriver. However, there was a problem as Stone Cold's head was too far down, and when Hart delivered the devastating move, it impacted Austin's entire spine. Stone Cold lost most of the feeling in his body but managed to perform a very lackluster schoolboy pin to win the match. It took several officials to help Austin get backstage. Number 3. A tribute to Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit was an amazing wrestler, top of the list, a star of the company. He was adored, loved, but everything changed the day Benoit murdered his wife and one of his sons and then committed suicide. June 25, 2007. That was the day it had been confirmed to WWE that Chris Benoit and his family had been found dead. However, WWE had not been notified at the time that it was believed Benoit had killed his wife and son. And so, they opted to air a tribute show to Chris Benoit which included statements from several WWE wrestlers. The problem and shock were that during the airing, facts began coming to light about the tragedy. Some of the wrestlers' comments on the show in hindsight sound as though they knew what news was about to drop concerning Benoit's involvement in his family's death. And so, we ended up with a bizarre, creepy and embarrassing situation that night. Number 2. Droz's accident. On October 5, 1999, Droz wrestled against D'Lo Brown at a SmackDown taping in Long Island. When the two set up for a powerbomb spot, Droz suffered a neck injury which left him paralyzed. Droz later said that he was wearing a loose-fitting shirt which impacted the execution of the move. Brown couldn't get a good grip on Droz to protect him and he ended up landing on his head. While the accident never aired on SmackDown, footage of medical personnel attending to Droz has been used as part of the company's previous Don't Try This at Home public service announcements. Droz also said that he holds no animosity towards Brown as a result of the accident. He married his girlfriend just days after the accident but the two divorced in 2005. Number 1. Hart's death. Probably the saddest incident in WWE to this day. May 23, 1999, Kansas City. Owen was scheduled to ascend from the rafters that night in his comedic blue blazer gimmick. Sting had been using a similar entrance for years at that point but without a quick-release mechanism like the one Owen would be using for his stunt. Owen fell 78 feet from the rafters and landed on the ring ropes. He was later declared dead at the hospital. The official cause of death was internal bleeding as a result of blunt force trauma. WWE chose to continue on with the pay-per-view that night despite fans having just witnessed one of their beloved wrestlers plunging to his death, and with the other wrestlers hearing one of their colleagues has died. Needless to say, that this poor decision to continue the pay-per-view was heavily criticized. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments below of matches and endings that left you in shock and awe. If you enjoyed our video, please like it and subscribe to support our channel, we really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when we upload new videos to our channel. Have a wonderful day.